Okay, I'll make this really quick. I just came online to discuss few data sets. Are we live? Yes, we are live. Yeah, we are live. Sorry. So I'll just give you some data sets around pin codes and how the data itself can be negated. I'm not very sure how this alignment is happening, but the orientation is set to be locked. Okay, never mind. Okay. So I'm going to talk about authority system, particularly. I have to wrap this now. Okay. So we are going to start with the usual discussion in terms of the tagging part, particularly the classification part. So with me, I have G06Q20/38215, which is user certificates for proof of transaction rights, which is good. Then we have biometric identity checks, which is G06F20/40145. For the public key, we have to utilize the tagging of the H classification, and here we have H04L63/0823. Is it 23? Yes, it is 23. No. Okay, I have two classifications here. One is H04L63/0823, which is network architecture or network communication protocols for network security for authentication of entities using certificates. That is point one. Let's not even talk about the point two. I would rather give it. So we will go with the AND gate here, and the second one is public key, that is H04L9/3073. Public key, that is basically algorithm for computation to invert or use the encryption keys. Particularly, we are using the protocol word, which is candidate. There is nothing called as user, what we are developing right now. So this does not require secrecy involving algebraic varieties, pairings and stuff. And we have IBE, that is identity based encryption, bilinear mapping or bilinear pairing, that is well or TERT pairing. And particularly when we are talking about any kind of business, particularly in the online world, we need to look into the coding stuff of G06Q2220/00 business processing using cryptography. This is done. I'll just look into the images right now. I like it. Okay, let's talk about the challenges. So here are the challenges which we are looking at is the social perception. Social perception, particularly three parameters. First is usability and effectiveness, Big Brother, privacy and stuff. Honestly, I don't know what Big Brother they are referring to, because Big Brother can be a serial or it can be elder sibling perhaps. Parties or younger siblings also. So there are cases where the younger siblings act as the big brothers of the family. Anyhow, third parties, we have integration, compliance and liabilities. So third party understanding from the point of view of developing the framework would be integration, compliance and liability. Identity theft can be looked into it, and perhaps we have to look into the challenge of identifying the management life cycle. And in the management life cycle, what I believe right now is pin codes is going to play a very pivotal role, because we need to tackle the data set based on the pin codes, because a lot of actors are utilizing CDNs just to I would rather say get the data set around the IP address. So somehow we have to take the IP address protocol as null and void, so that we are able to develop protocols which are significant enough to tackle the major menace which is happening right now. Then we have transaction analysis and authorization enforcement, interoperability with multiple platforms. I personally work in a lot of frameworks and networks in terms of not only the healthcare industry. Healthcare, obviously I'm talking about the international landscape, not the Indian landscape, because there's a lot of deficiency of technology which needs to be tackled right now, given the data set that whatever has been developed is just a hallucinated data set in terms of understanding tech in the real world. Scalability, operability, availability. Availability is there, but the main thing is human capacity building is null and void for folks who have no cognizance of what technology can to just get things done in a fast, speedy manner. Regulatory compliance at multiple levels. We can have regulation at any point, but is that checkpoint important enough is the question we need to answer. A very simple example I would like to highlight here is HACCP. HACCP is particularly relates to hazard analysis critical control points, and that is something I'm very fascinated about. I have been working on it for the longest time. I mean, I started using this in most protocols which we developed over the years. 2003, so it's 20 year plus now. Then we have agencies' internal issues at multiple levels, among others. What are they? Okay, so it's funny, people utilize these full forms without even being a full form. So we have something called as OA, which stands for online or offline authorization. So I'll just, I think I'll write it in the reporting right now. Let's see. Vintage. Okay, nice. I like this. It's very funny. So CERT, or cybersecurity professionals in the online world, so there's something called as TERT. Now TERT stands for transactional digital certificates. Real time, I would just go with candidate validation, because this 4-letter word user is being misused right now too much by too many folks who have no cognizance of what the protocols are all about, but trying to just enter the protocols. I mean, that is a big no right now, given the data set that geolocation awareness is too much with few of the folks, and we need to validate that with all authenticity. Then supporting the various certificate formats, we have X0, 509 barcodes and stuff. If I just have to talk about something which I feel is important right now, is digital signature, secure cryptographic tokens. Biometric is very important, and that is what I like a lot about PayPal right now. They are getting the KYC done, and human intervention is important, because obviously technology has taken up jobs, so we need to generate new jobs, and for those new jobs, human intervention has to be there at every point of time without giving them the power to take decisions. Human intervention is just to collect data. It's just data collection and nothing else. So let's focus on that aspect and create real-time identity validification system and protocols in continuation with what we discussed for next 25 hours, and let's see where we reach. So thank you for watching it out, and thank you for pouring in so many messages, and we are done for the day. Thank you.